Hi YouTube, my name is Claire and I am 35 years old, mother of 3 from New South Wales, Australia. And currently, why don't I just start off with my stats? So I am 5'3" and I'm currently weighing my heaviest ever at 105 kilos, which works out to be, I think it's 230 or 220 pounds. I'll put it in the description. And I just feel horrible about myself and where I'm at. I have an autoimmune disease called Sjogren's, and I also have rheumatoid arthritis. I used to be an athlete, so being this size is really tough, and it's taken me a long time to get to this point, but I've spent quite a long few months really watching the amazing people here on YouTube who have been sharing their stories with gastric sleeve surgery, and it's really been the push for me to just suck it up and admit defeat and admit that I have a problem and seek help. I have been seeing my doctor for 12 months, my GP for 12 months about my weight, and I've done a lot of different things in an effort to try and lose weight, and I haven't succeeded. In fact, I've gained weight. My problem is that when I do try and exercise or try and move enough for it to make any kind of difference, I end up having I've forgotten the term for it, but my autoimmune disease, I have a flare-up, that's the term. I have a flare-up and I end up being put on steroids to control my pain and my level of inflammation, and of course you go on steroids and I put on weight. So it's been a really difficult 12 months. It's been really difficult carrying this weight around. My joints are not happy. My ankles are really starting to get very angry at me. So on Thursday night, I went and drove down to Newcastle. I live in the Hunter Valley, and I drove to Newcastle by myself and left my husband with the children, and I braved going to an information session that was held by Newcastle Obesity Clinic, Surgery Centre, I think they're called, Newcastle Obesity Surgery Centre, and went and saw an information session, and they had a gentleman speak who'd had the surgery, and one of the surgeons went through all the risks and what the surgeries entail, all the different surgeries that are available. And I decided before I even went to that information session that a gastric sleeve was right for me, that was the one that sort of I felt was the right fit for me. The bypass scares me with the possibility of bowel obstruction and things years and years post-surgery, whereas the sleeve doesn't seem to have any risks long-term regarding those sorts of things like bowel obstructions and ongoing issues with post-surgery in that respect, which of course is always a concern. There's also things like balloons and those sorts of things, but they didn't appeal to me simply because they are temporary, and I worry that I'm going to go through all of that and go and put the weight back on later, simply because I could have a flare-up, go on steroids, and steroids actually make me hungry too. So anywho, I don't know why I'm here. It's not just because of my autoimmune disease. I eat the wrong things. I binge eat. My husband works shift work. He works night shift, and I suffer from anxiety when he's away during the evenings. And so I eat. I eat when he's not here and the kids are in bed and I'm sitting watching TV. That's what I do. I eat. I watch The Biggest Loser and I eat a box of chocolate or something. It's ridiculous. It really is. So anyway, I went to this information session and I got this pack that they gave me, and inside it's got lots of different information. It's got a pamphlet or information pack on each of the different surgeries. It's got pricing information, and they discussed all of that while we were there. The two surgeons that work out of this centre, Dr. Mark Gately and Dr. Tim Wright. Dr. Tim Wright was recommended to me by a friend who has, I think she's 2 years post her surgery. So that was the reason why I chose to go with them. In Australia, for anyone who's interested, if you're self-paying customer, like if you don't have private health insurance that covers weight loss surgery, you're going to be looking for the gastric sleeve about $20,000. One of the surgeons out of this clinic do not see self-paying customers at all, because if you do have a complication, you have to pay to be in the hospital whilst they're trying to fix those complications. The other one does do self-funded patients, but he's not very comfortable with it, was sort of what he gave. If you have a private health insurance, it costs $6,000 just for this clinic, but then of course you've got the anaesthetist and a assistant surgeon fees that you have to pay on top of those, and I don't know what they are. And they were very reluctant to talk about that at the information session, simply because it's not them, they're not the ones that are billing us for that, and he wasn't comfortable discussing other people's fees. So I don't know what they are, but I thought if you're watching this for the first time and you, like me, are at the beginning stages of your journey or just considering it, I thought pricing is a factor for everybody, you know, family budgets and those sorts of things. So yeah, if you don't have private health insurance, and you might be worthwhile going out and getting, you know, private health insurance and waiting those 12 months, simply because you can, of course, go through your super fund and do it that way, but I'm self-employed, so I really don't have the super in there to do that. So anyway, so that's the costing of it, and I'm going to go ahead and I had my husband come. I'm a photographer, so I had my husband come in and just take some photos of me in bra and knickers, of me on a white backdrop, mostly for myself to document it. And I looked at them briefly, and it's really frightening to share those. It's really frightening to see them, but I really wanted to document my journey, and I found so much strength watching other people's videos on YouTube and their journeys so far. So I wanted to do the same for. So my plan moving forward is, it's currently Easter long weekend, and I went to the information session on Thursday evening. So of course yesterday was Good Friday, and I couldn't really do anything Good Friday. I couldn't ring their offices or make appointments or anything. In the information pack that they give you, it actually comes with a blood test request form, and they just say to put your GP, your general practitioner's information on there, so that they can also get the results. And of course I have to get a referral from my GP. So I've already booked and made an appointment with my GP for Tuesday, first thing Tuesday morning at like 9:40. I'm going to fast Monday night, I think. I've got to confirm what my fasting times are for that blood test, but I'm going to fast so that I can do the blood test first thing Tuesday morning, and then I'm going to go to my doctor's appointment and request the referral. And pretty much as soon as I get up in the morning, I'm going to ring the centre and book my appointment with the surgeon. I've discussed it extensively with my husband, and while the $6,000 is going to be a bit of a push for us, the benefits outweigh the risks, and currently my medical costs are quite high because I need specialists and drugs, painkillers. There's a lot of things that go into having an autoimmune disease, and whilst I'm not going to get rid of my autoimmune disease by losing the weight, my symptoms are going to drastically improve, and I'm really hoping that I can cut down on the pain medication that I'm taking, which is quite a lot. Anyway, so that is my story so far, and that is where I'm at. So currently 105 kilos, my goal weight, it's really hard to even think that far ahead, but I really would like to be a healthy BMI. My BMI is like 45, which is horrible. It just makes me so sick to my stomach. I've never really looked that up, but you have to be 35 to be considered for surgery. They will consider you at 30 if you have type 2 diabetes. But yeah, 45. when I typed that in just to see while I was at the thing. I was so embarrassed. But anyway, so my goal weight I would like to be down to 65. That would be the top end of a healthy BMI range for my height. So if I could make it to 65, I'll be really happy. Obviously, I've heard a lot of people saying the gastric sleeve has a mind of its own, and provided that I follow the rules and stick to a really healthy diet and get moving, which I'm hoping I'll be able to do when I'm not carrying around all of this excess weight. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll lose more than that, but it's too far in the future for me to even comprehend that that's a possibility, because every time I try and lose weight, I end up gaining weight. So I'm going into this with the hope that it works, and it's really nice to have that hope, but at the same time, it's really difficult to think of myself as 65 kilos again. When my husband and I met, I was 52 kilos. I was an Australian titleist for kayaking. I was extremely active, and yeah, I don't expect to get down to 52 kilos. I've had 3 babies. I don't expect to get that body back, but I just want to be healthy. There's probably about 30% of me that's vanity. You know, yes, I do want to look great. I want to look healthy. I want to be able to go into a store and just pick something up off the rack and not be having a panic attack about whether or not it's actually going to fit or not, or having like the salespeople come in and go, so how's everything going for sizing? And you're like, oh my God, go away, this is humiliating. Yeah, anyway, that would be a great improvement to life. I think people call that a non-scale victory. I would really like to be able to walk into a shop and not have anxiety about finding something that fits. So, yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm doing it for my health. I want to be an active parent. I want to be a part of my children's life. I don't want to sit on the sidelines anymore. So, I have a 10-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So, anyway, that's me. Thank you so much if you stuck with me for the last 14 odd minutes. And I'm going to check back in with you probably Tuesday and let you know how the blood test went, how my doctor's appointment went, and when my date for my appointment with the surgeon is. So that's my story. Thank you so much for listening. I want to say a huge thank you to everybody that is a part of the VSG community in YouTube, regardless of where you live, but especially a huge shout out to all you Aussies. Thank you, because you have been an inspiration, and you've also been the kick up the butt that I needed to, one, admit defeat, and to realize that this is not, one, it's not an easy way out, but that it's not, I don't know, I guess I had a stigma attached to the idea of having weight loss surgery, and I probably was one of those really judgy people, but now here I am sitting in this position, and if it wasn't for all of you beautiful people who came on and shared your journeys and were frank and upfront and not scared to just put your hand up and say, this is who I am, this is my story, and so thank you for giving me that, and allowing us to watch and gain a little bit of knowledge and the confidence, I suppose, to step up and go, yep, I need to do this for myself. So thank you. All right, that's me. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them below. I'm going to start a Instagram account for my journey too, so I will put the links below, because I don't even know what those names are going to be yet, but I will put it all in the information below, and if you want, then join me, and yeah, any questions, please feel free to ask. Thanks. Bye.